He's a man on a mission.
We're still in. We still have an opportunity.
Meet Bob Lenarduzzi, Canada's World Cup leader.
Jeff, get in the middle. 3 across the middle, 3 up front.
He brought Canada to the World Cup brink against Mexico. Up next, a challenge from down under.
The winner goes through, the loser waits for another 4 years.
But I'm pretty positive. You know, I always think I'm going to win every game.
Eddie Thompson is the man in charge of Australia's World Cup bid, and he has had a very trying week. His top goalkeeper, Mark Bosnich of Aston Villa, elected to stay back in England, and as a result, may never play for Australia again.
We can't have people pick and choose whether they want to play with the national team. Either they want to play or they don't want to play. And if they tell us before we select them, then I won't select them.
He has been nothing short of brilliant. Looking for Bunbury! Alex Bunbury is an offensive sniper with 6 qualifying goals. Today, he'll match up against 21-year-old Australian defender Ned Zelic.
And it's a goal dreams are made of.
I'm Graham Leggett.
I'm Vic Rowder.
I'm Eddie Thompson.
And I'm Bob Lenarduzzi. Those stories and a great soccer match coming up in the next 90 minutes.
The road to USA 94 goes through Edmonton, Alberta. World Cup qualifying soccer on TSN. And it's all brought to you by Crystal Glass, your all-Canadian auto glass specialist since 1949. It's a beautiful day, but windy day here at Commonwealth Stadium as Canada gets set to face Australia. Hi everybody and welcome to TSN's continuing coverage of World Cup, the road to USA 94. To be honest, there was lots of disappointment among the Canadian side when they lost that game to Mexico back in May, but head coach Bob Lenarduzzi puts it all in perspective by saying, look, if you gave us this chance, this second chance before it all began a year ago, we would have taken it. So he's quite content to take this backdoor approach now to USA 94, and it begins with back-to-back games against Australia, first here and then Sydney. And the winner of this series will play the runner-up of Group A in South America. And the feeling is that Argentina will win that group, so it'll be Paraguay, Colombia, or Peru. Graham Leggett, the biggest concern going into this game, injuries and suspension. The Canadians are missing 5 players, probably the most important striker, John Catliffe. And then out with yellow cards are people like Paul Pescasolido and Randy Samuels. So do the Canadian team have the depth to cover all the spots?
Well, I think that they're going to miss John Catliffe and Randy Samuels perhaps the most, simply because these players are very good in the air. Canada does not have too many tall players. The Australians have got about 5 or 6. So Catliffe and Samuels will be missed, but I do think that Dasovic and Mobilio will fill in more than adequately.
All right, you bring up Domenic Mobilio from the Vancouver 86ers. He will team with Alec Bunbury up front. Mobilio, a former Golden Boot winner in the CSL. Can he do it internationally?
I think so. I think Alex Bunbury will do the challenges, create a lot of loose balls for Domenic Mobilio, and he's got a magic left foot.
The head coach of the Australian side is a former Scot, played for Aberdeen, your former club. Eddie Thompson says he's going to play it very tight at the back because in a home-and-home situation, he wants to get out of here giving up no goals or maybe even scoring 1. That would put him up big time.
Yes, it would. The Australians do not have to entertain the crowd. All they want to get is a no-score tie and get out of here with a point. Being Scottish, he likes to play it tough. He will play it very tight at the back, but I think the key is going to be Zelic. Ned Zelic, the young superstar who plays for Borussia Dortmund. He loves to come forward, a la Franz Beckenbauer, but is a brilliant sweeper.
Now the thoughts on the wind, and it's swirling at field level. How will that affect everything?
Well, I don't think it'll affect it all that much. The Australians like to play the ball on the ground. They like to play possession soccer. Canada have been accused of playing the long ball, but we've seen them play possession soccer in midfield. So the wind will be a little bit of a problem, but it shouldn't decide the game.
When we come back, we will have the kickoff for you. Game 1, home and home. It's Canada, Australia. And there's a crowd of 30,000 on hand at Commonwealth Stadium. Welcome back to Commonwealth Stadium. Vic Rauter along with Graham Leggett, and it is a treat to be in front of some 30,000 fans, and mostly, Graham, cheering wildly for Canada, something that we haven't always encountered in covering World Cup '94.
Magnificent crowd, beautiful surface, and everything to play for between Canada and Australia. And those of us who thought that Australia would lay back right from the opening kickoff, I don't think that Australia will do that. They'll be very tight at the back, but they will push forward when the opportunity arises.
Craig Forrest, the starting keeper for Canada, the 25-year-old. 20 international appearances. This is 21st from Ipswich in the English Premier Division. And the swirling winds bound to have some effect as Hooper has his first touch for Canada, plays it to Colin Miller. Sweeney, near side. Chips it ahead, Mobilio. Limniatis, Sweeney. And the ball kicked into touch by Australia. The captain, Colin Miller, from Hamilton Academical. Just underway at Commonwealth Stadium. First of a home-and-home series, Canada and Australia. Sweeney skips by Mobilio, and Ned Zelic with his first touch, the sweeper for Australia. Sweeney with the throw in and coming over neatly. Durakovic, who plays in South Melbourne, and he heads it into touch.
And it looks as if Durakovic is going to mark Mobilio, and Tobin is going to take the responsibility for Alex Bunbury.
Cooper will lay it back for Nick Dasovic, and Dasovic better hurry or he's going to be in lots of trouble. And he is quickly. Vidmar, the cross, and following up neatly was Frank Yallop. But that's something that Bob Lenarduzzi was a little bit worried about from Eddie Thompson, because Eddie Thompson likes to play a European style, and it's almost a swarming style. When the ball comes to you, you're going to see 2, maybe 3 Australians.
Well, it was a bad move by Dasovic. Last man back. You don't try and beat the lone challenger who's coming at you. The fortunate thing for Canada was that the Australians, so many of them were back, they couldn't get up to support in time.
Blagojevic, near sideline, cuts it back for Paul Okon to the center. And still not cleared away. It'll finally be Mike Sweeney to clear it to midfield. Chested down by Hooper. And quickly marked by Durakovic. Sweeney for Mobilio, and again it'll be a throw-in for Canada. Head coach Bob Lenarduzzi. Al Arrington is assistant alongside. Mobilio tried the cross, but Durakovic.
And Colin Miller will come across to take this. His throw-in just as good as a free kick. Can get it right to the near post to Alex Bunbury.
Mitchell is moved up. Headed away by Zelic. Hooked through. Bunbury! Bunbury!
Nice little hooked-in ball by Miller. Alex Bunbury's first touch is brilliant. Turns and hooks it just over the crossbar as Zabica watches it sail over. Little nudge by Zelic as Bunbury went to turn, just put him off balance a little bit.
Mobilio giving chase on the far side, and it'll be throw-in for Australia. We've played just under 5 minutes. First half, Canada, Australia. World Cup qualifying soccer on TSN. Now look at the wind, catch this. Oh, Sweeney does a good job to get there before the Australians do. And now Zelic, as you say, being compared to Beckenbauer in the way that he sweeps, and he'll come forward. And look at him make the run now, Zelic. Limniatis wins the ball, but Zelic is right there, and it's quickly given back. Farina with the cross. Okon. Dasovic is there for Canada. No foul, says the referee, and it'll be a throw-in for the Aussies, or the Socceroos as they're known. Paul Okon, the 23-year-old who plays with Club Brugge in Belgium, to take this throw-in. Into the area. Dasovic is up. It rattles off the Canadian defender, and finally Dale Mitchell clears. Ahead for Bunbury. Zelic, Okon, and Frank Yallop. Booms one downfield. Mobilio can't control. And the last touch is by Limniatis of Canada. Throw in for Australia. John Limniatis wants to say hello to his father, Nick, and wish him a speedy recovery. Limniatis from the Montreal Impact after 5 years of playing in Greece. Okon for Robbie Slater. Little overlap from Van Blurk. Chip to the near post, and over the goal line it'll be Canadian keeper's ball.
But there you saw how keen the Socceroos fullbacks are to overlap. Van Blurk loves to go down the wing like a left winger, and Blagojevic in the right back position does the same thing. But I still think you have to watch Ned Zelic. Plays at sweeper, but just as Beckenbauer used to do, when he sees there's a space to go forward, he has got the freedom to go there, and boy, he can use the ball.
Van Blurk at midfield for Slater. Oh, and the Canadians looking for the ball, as coming up was Mark Watson making the tackle, but the far side linesman, Mr. Farfan, of this all-Mexican officiating crew, awarded it to Australia. Sweeney will leave it for Forrest. Bunbury for Mitchell. Van Blurk giving chase, and now the two collide, and the foul will be on Dale Mitchell.
And the crowd didn't like that, as Van Blurk and Mitchell went for the ball, but I think just a little tug by Dale earns the free kick to Australia.
Zelic through the shadow of the speaker that hangs high over Commonwealth Stadium, now plays it near side. Farina tangles with Sweeney. And Farina looking for the foul, looks at the near side linesman, Mr. Madrigal.
Well, this is a hard challenge, but what else do you expect from Mike Sweeney? Doesn't quite get the ball, and as a result, number 7 Farina gets the throw-in given against him. I think Mike Sweeney wins half of these decisions because he never argues with the linesman, he just smiles at them.
That ball from Forrest barely makes midfield in this wind. And into touch near sideline, Australian throw-in.
And as you'd expect, the first 5 minutes a little scrappy as both sides try to get the pace of this game. And boy, was that a tackle on Bunbury or what?
Yallop from Ipswich chips it into the box, looking for Mobilio, and cleared away by Okon. Yallop right back, Hooper, and following up. played just over 10 minutes of this first half. Canada-Australia was still scoreless. Canada, best opportunity, Alec Bunbury in the opening minute, putting one off the crossbar. The first game of a home-and-home series, Canada and Australia from Commonwealth Stadium in front of a crowd in excess of 30,000 people. And of course, we will bring you the road to USA 94 as Canada looks to qualify, but first they have to get by, of course, Australia.
Once again, the Canadian shirts are accused of giving a little tug, and I'm not sure. It looked like 6 of one and half of a dozen of there as Durakovic and Alex Bunbury tangle.
Well, here's an opportunity as Farina looked to get all twisted up, and Sweeney was able to clear. Now it's Mobilio, lays it off near side. Limniatis. Okon for Australia. For Zelic.
That should be a free kick against Australia.
It is indeed, as Mr. Carter.
Zelic was hoping for the decision to go in his favour, picked the ball up and got a free kick against him for handball. Little over casual, the sweeper on that occasion.
Frank Yallop will take this free kick for Canada. Edge of the box. And Zelic will clear. You know, Graham, there was some concern about the height advantage that the Australians do have, and it is noticeable, but so far I don't think it's come into play.
Well, it's very tough to judge the flight of the ball with this wind, so the advantage the Australians have is being negated.
Sweeney, through, Mobilio, heads it back, Miller can't get away. Played up for the captain, Arnold. He can't get away. Miller now for Mobilio, and it gets caught up in a bit of a breeze, some draft, and it is very breezy down at field level, but the crowd here very appreciative of Canada's efforts 13 minutes into this first half. Blagojevic. Bunbury will win it back for Yallop. Coming through the middle is Vidmar, but following up neatly was Yallop. This is Hooper now at midfield. Blagojevic.
And already we've seen how strong Aurelio Vidmar, the number 8, is for Australia. He's the ball winner in midfield for the Socceroos. On the ball right now.
Plays it for Slater. Yallop. Looking for Mobilio. Oh, had it go off his shoulder as he was trying to turn and chest and control it. Do you notice, though, Eddie Thompson's pre-game plan about laying back? Are they building 4 or 5 at the back?
Well, they got 4 across the back, and they've got Ned Zelic in behind them. In fact, right now, Graham Arnold is the lone striker, number 9.
Sweeney will take control for Canada in the Canadian box for Limniatis. Well cleared by Forrest. Okon over Slater's head. Mitchell. Watson. Mitchell. Watson as Hooper makes a run at midfield. Miller now standing on the center circle spot, calling for it. Yallop will go up that far sideline. Oh, Mitchell plays it through for Bunbury, but nobody was following up. Robert Zabica, the 29-year-old who gets the start after Mark Bosnich elects to stay with Aston Villa. 22 internationals for Zabica, who plays with Adelaide City in the National League of Australia, which includes 14 teams. Sweeney looking for the offside, and they played the trap, and it was Mobilio getting caught.
Good play by Alec Tobin, who just stepped up as Sweeney hit that ball forward, leaving Mobilio in an offside position.
gets a break as it goes off the heel. Now Mitchell, here's Mitchell, goes to the outside. Was he brought down? Oh!
He's giving it outside the box. How could he do that? Instead of a penalty, referee Arturo Brizio Carter has given the free kick on the outside of the penalty box. And he has yet to speak to the goalkeeper. You be the judge. Mitchell gets to the ball first, takes it past Zabica. He's brought down and right on the edge. He fell in the box, but right on the edge. The marvels of instant replay. What's Dale Mitchell get to this ball first? And the goalkeeper has been sent off. The goalkeeper, Zabica, has been red carded by the referee for being the last man back and bringing down Mitchell. Zabica, who came in for Bosnich, has been sent off by the Mexican referee Arturo Brizio Carter. And really, the referee had no option. The new rule of his last man back brings him down intentionally. He's red carded, and what a blow for Robert Zabica and coach Eddie Thompson and the Socceroos. Mark Schwarzer is the third string goalkeeper and will more than likely come in to play goal, in which case Eddie Thompson will have to remove one of the outfield players.
Robert
What a turn of
Zabica.
events, Vic. It was just the goalkeeper, Zabica, had no option but to pull Dale Mitchell down. Mitchell got to the ball first, and the referee had no option but to send him off.
And that rule, of course, implemented by FIFA about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. If you are the last person back, as look at this, the two goalkeepers, probably Forrest saying, I know, I've been there. As you look at Mark Schwarzer, the 20-year-old who plays for Marconi, and he will come into the game for Zabica. And it's interesting as well now because it's a substitution, it's a red card, they'll have to play a man short as well.
They'll have to play with 10 men, Mark Schwarzer, and you are quite right. Craig Forrest can sympathise with Zabica. He's been red carded for a similar incident twice on our broadcast.
Yes. And now we wait.
Gold Cup.
And now we wait to see who Eddie Thompson in Australia will pull off the pitch.
He's brought off number 2, Blagojevic. He's brought off his big right back. So Blagojevic goes on the bench. Schwarzer takes over in goal, and the Socceroos are down to 10 men.
And
what a turn of events.
Oh, you bet. And absolutely no warm-up for Schwarzer. As Mitchell is there, Yallop is there, and now the referee, Mr. Carter, wants them back 10 yards. So a wonderful opportunity for Canada here.
And it is a direct free kick. Yallop can drive it. Dale Mitchell can chip it, but Sweeney, we saw in the Mexican game, can curve it into the top corner.
Mitchell's there. Here's Sweeney. Sweeney over. Mitchell rattles it off the wall. Yallop!
Good defense by the Socceroos. The wall stood solid, blocked the initial shot. Sweeney's the decoy. Mitchell tries to chip it over the wall. Not a bad play by number 13, Durakovic, to come out before the ball was kicked, and it works.
So here come Australia now, forced to play one man short, and you would think now, Graham, if he had other ideas of playing tight at the back, Eddie Thompson is going to throw everybody back except for maybe one, or I would think 2 at the most up front.
Well, he's going to play 1 up front, Arnold. He's going to play with 4 across the back. Instead of Blagojevic playing wide on the right, he's just going to have 3 central defenders, Zelic, Durakovic and Tobin.
And there you can hear Eddie Thompson, the native of Scotland, just sorting out where he wants his players to be now, playing 1 short.
But we've said it so often before. It's very difficult to play against a team with the spirit of the Socceroos when they only have 10 men, because everybody picks up a little bit of the slack I see that they've brought Robbie Slater, the number 11, the red-haired number 11, back into the right back position. So Canada should have the extra man in midfield, but they certainly won't have the extra man when they start to push forward and get to the back 4 or 5 for Australia.
Colin Miller for Limniatis. Robbie Slater to mark him, and it will be throw in for Australia, quickly taken by Slater. Good run by Okon.
Well, that's what you call a get-even yellow card. He was a little embarrassed at having his send off the goalkeeper, and the first foul that Canada gives away, then referee Arturo Bricio Carter produces the yellow card.
And what a wonderful
Sweeney
story,
can't
Mike.
believe it.
What a great story Mike Sweeney is, too, because he wasn't listed to play in this 2-game mini-series, but he got the call when all the injuries started happening. He got the call and he responded.
And he always responds with 100%. Comes in from behind. Not much of an intent to injure there, and the yellow card a little severe. He can't believe it when the referee reaches for the yellow card.
Deep in Canadian territory, and it is the Australians now a man short, as you suggest, maybe digging just that much deeper, Graham, and starting to take the play to Canada.
And bringing up big Alec Tobin, the number 5, for this long throw in by Okon. Just like a free kick. Watch for the big number 5.
And Forrest out jumping everybody and playing it upfield for Mobilio. Cooper trying to corral it, to control it, takes a shoulder in the back from Vidmar, and the foul is on the big number 8.
Yeah, and I can just hear Mike Sweeney saying, and you didn't bring a yellow card out for that one?
Mark Watson for the Canadian captain, Colin Miller. Yallop. Dasovic. Watson. Limniatis, who's moved from the left side to the right wing, and the foul again is on Australia. Van Blurk.
This free kick is where they miss Randy Samuel and John Catlett. Not much height in the penalty box there, although Mark Watson is coming up to the far post.
Mitchell will try and curve it in, headed away. And cleared away by Australia. It'll be a throw in for Canada. And in fact, they've awarded the throw in to Australia, so it rattled off one of the Canadian players as Mobilio takes control, plays it back for Dasovic to the center spot, and Mike Sweeney for Limniatis, and it skips over his foot. Limniatis again will give up the throw in to Slater and Australia. Dasovic is brought down. Will the yellow card come out? Yes, it does.
It has to come out on that one.
To
Because
Frank
Farina
Farina.
made no effort to get the ball at all, just brought Mick Dasovic down from behind. He's going to have a very busy afternoon, Arturo Bricio Carter.
Farina playing in France, one of many players on this Australian side that plays in Europe, many of them in Belgium.
7 starters, what you might call foreign-based players for Australia. Canada line up with 4.
What a lovely run by Slater.
There he goes, Zelic.
Plays it to the left side as Van Blurk is overlapped. Van Blurk gets it up, and lovely job, as it was Dasovic doing the marking on Arnold, and he got his foot in there first.
The ball boys are the Edmonton Ajax under-15s, doing a super job here today.
Corner for Australia there. first. Cleared away. Hooper giving chase, and it's Okon for Australia. Cuts it in. Ooh. And dangerously over the bar. Cleared by Mike Sweeney.
And Mike Sweeney getting the final touch, but it was a lovely cross by Okon. Sweeney cut in two minds whether to head it or to clear it. He side foots it over the bar to safety, but dangerous situation for Canada as Australia seemed to have taken the initiative.
And you get a good indication of how the wind is swirling. Look at the Canadian jerseys billowing in the wind here at Commonwealth. We've played 25 minutes. It's still scoreless, Australia-Canada. The Aussies without their number one keeper. Oh, and it's cleared away from that far post by Lyndon Hooper as the Australians down a man come ever so close, and now Mobilio gives chase, and it's played back by Durakovic. Schwarzer to Van Blurk to Zelic. Zelic from the Bundesliga, and he's brought down, and it will be a free kick for Australia.
And there you got an example of why Ned Zelic is compared to the Kaiser, Franz Beckenbauer, the way he strides forward into the open space. What a future this guy has in front of him.
Van Blurk to take this free kick. Top of the area looking for Vidmar. And it went off a Canadian defender's head. It will be another corner for Australia, who have started to take the play to Canada now despite being a man short.
And Robbie's wondering which of his players can mark the big man, because Durakovic, Tobin and Van Blurk have all come forward for this corner kick.
Slater for Australia. Edge of the area and cleared away deliberately by Alec Bunbury from West Ham.
And the Canadians have put the two smallest players, Mike Sweeney and Lyndon Hooper, marking the near and the far post.
The ball not sitting too kindly for the Australian. Now the referee saying, let's get it going. Out comes Forrest to punch it away. Slater to control. And now it's Dasovic clearing to midfield, and the Canadians under extreme pressure here, just past the midway point of this first half. Slater to take this throw in. Bunbury brought down, and there will be a free kick as Durakovic brings him down. We've played approximately 25 minutes of this first half. Canada and Australia are scoreless. World Cup qualifying soccer on TSN. Vic Rauter along with Graham Leggett. The Canadians had a good opportunity early, Graham, when Bunbury side-footed one off the crossbar, and then dramatics with the red carding of the starting keeper for Australia as he brought down Dale Mitchell.
Well, it was a through ball that Dale Mitchell got to before the goalkeeper. Walks round the goalkeeper, he's brought down. The concern was whether or not it would be a penalty. It was given outside the box, but the goalkeeper, Zabica, was red carded. As a result, Blagojevic, the right fullback, had to come off, and the substitute goalkeeper, Schwarzer, is now in the Australian goal, and the Socceroos are down to 10 men.
And playing in extremely windy, gusty conditions here at Commonwealth in front of a crowd of what they're estimating is more than 30,000. Limniatis, Mark Watson, he comes wide, near side for Mike Sweeney. And look at the pressure. Slater following up, and now here come the Australians. Dasovic Watson are back. Hooper hustles to join in, and Slater, the cross, optimistically, and it doesn't work for the Australian Robbie Slater, the 28-year-old, who also plays in France with Lens.
But full marks to Robbie Slater. Read the pass well, intercepted it, and then carried it forward. We know that the Australians are going to lie back and look for the breakaways, and that's the kind of breakaway that coach Eddie Thompson wants. The cross could have been a bit better, but at least the initiative was there.
Colin Miller. Oh, no offside. Oh, Mobilio got all turned around, and I'm wondering if he thought he might have been offside.
I think he thought he'd fouled Alex Tobin and sort of slackened a little bit, took his eye off the ball. By the time he refocused, he'd lost the opportunity. And this wind really that's gusting round Commonwealth Stadium, not favouring either side. It comes in one end, whirls round and goes out the other end. The flags are blowing in different directions at either side of the field.
Nick Dasovic from the Montreal Impact will leave it for Mike Sweeney. This is Frank Yallop. Ipswich Town has a look. Sees nothing but yellow and green. Plays it back. Dasovic. As Canada play with a man advantage.
Trying to draw the Socceroos forward, but they're loath to come over the halfway line.
Only one player is past halfway. Look out indeed as they give it away, and off the hand of Lyndon Hooper.
And just as well, because Aurelio Vidmar had broken free on the left wing.
Van Lerk. Zelic at midfield. Has a look. Can't get it by Mobilio. Plays it back. Blagojevic for Van Lerk, and it'll be a throw-in for Canada. Mark Watson from the Vancouver 86ers quickly takes the throw-in, gets it back from Frank Yallop. Hooper is in midfield. Mitchell is closing in. He'll go back to the captain, Colin Miller, to Nick Dasovic. Sweeney is open here on the left, and that's where they'll come, near side. Mitchell makes a run. Mitchell tries to slide it through.
Free kick against Alec, obstructing Tobin from getting to the ball, and referee Arturo Brizio Carter right on the spot.
Zelic, far side for Van Lerk. Van Lerk plays his soccer in Holland. Play it back for Schwarzer. And Schwarzer, who wasn't expected to even be on this trip, was the third string keeper, finds himself now in goal for Australia. Dangerously playing it back 2 feet of Forrest, and now here comes Canada with 11 minutes remaining in this first half, but I'm sure more time to be added by the referee for the red card incident to Robert Zabica. Hooper under all kinds of pressure as the Aussies drop back. Only one player now up at midfield. Oh, and look at the tackling going on by Farina. Colin Miller gets away, tries to slide it through, and once again, as I guess Bunbury trying to turn, is being called for the obstruction.
Alec is backing into Tobin, and we've seen so many incidences in the previous round when these were not called, but Alec has been called twice now. See him back in, turned him well, but the free kick goes against. Hard to understand that, really, because the Mexicans were brilliant at it in the previous rounds.
Dasovic.
Push up, Robbie, push up, son.
Ever since we introduced our new beer called Molson Canadian Ice, people have been asking just what makes it taste better than the other ice beers? Well, it probably boils down to one thing. We don't heat pasteurize ours. Molson Canadian Ice. If it's an ice beer, it shouldn't be anything other than ice cold.
Ladies and gentlemen, let the good times roll.
Through my hopes and my dreams, there's a constant, it seems. The night in the day is a friend on the way. It's something that we share. It's a bond so rare.
A Mars bar a day at work, rest, and play.
When you're at work, rest, and play.
Adidas is out to change soccer in America.
Under 10 minutes to play here in the first half at Commonwealth Stadium, Canada, Australia. Scoreless, but a dramatic beginning, especially for the Australians who find themselves without their starting keeper and down a man playing Canada in this first of a home-and-home series. Australia-Canada, the winner of the series, to take another step toward USA 94. Farina, Arnold makes a run to the center of the box. Farina lays it off. Okon trying to cut it across and can't. Mark Watson clears. Now Bunbury. The back of him is Tobin, and the referee, Mr. Carter, saying play on.
Well, Canada did have possession, so he was justified in playing the advantage rule, although Bunbury did take some stick from Tobin.
Hooper, he played it off the heels of Mr. Carter as he tried a little give and go, and it wouldn't go through Mr. Carter. Vidmar to the near sideline. Slater makes the run. Now Vidmar makes a big run through the middle, and that's where they'll play it. Here comes Forrest, and right there as well was Vidmar in Australia.
Good run by Vidmar, but once again, Robbie Slater's cross not quite accurate enough.
Yallop for Canada. To midfield, chips it ahead. Flicked forward by Bunbury, but Mobilio was several steps behind. Mark Schwarzer, the 20-year-old, finds himself in a World Cup qualifying game, someplace he's never been before.
And his defense has certainly done an excellent job. He's had very little to do since he came on for Zabica.
Throw in for Australia, headed into touch by Nick Dasovic.
And I'm sure that coach Eddie Thompson right now is quite happy. It's still scoreless. And that's what they came for. Go home with a tie, he'll be perfectly satisfied.
The captain, Colin Miller, plays it square to Limniatis, runs into Van Blerk, who wins it far side. Arnold is calling for it in the box, and he'll play it back for Okon. Zelic moves up. A little charge from behind by Mobilio.
Well, let's see if Ned Zelic tries one from here. We've seen Beckenbauer try it from here before. Wouldn't be at all surprised. With that wind swirling around, who knows what the ball would do.
Zelic is there, so is Slater. Slater will make the first run over the ball. This is Zelic. Couldn't get it through the wall, and it'll skip for Craig Forrest.
I don't think he meant to do that at all. I think he meant to get the ball up in the air and let the wind take it into the goal area. To hit it into the wall was a little bit of a waste for a player of his talent. Once again, as the ball goes through to Craig Forrest, you can see the yellow shirts retreat into their own half. Right now they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yellow shirts about 5 yards outside the penalty box.
Sweeney will try to find some kind of opening in the yellow and green. Here's Bunbury. Bunbury gets it across. Here's Limniatis. Limniatis, waited. He tried to get it to his left foot. And Vidmar will clear for Australia. Watson, Mobilio, tried to shield it and turn and couldn't. Van Blurk to midfield. Vidmar makes the overlapping run, and then a little push from behind by Watson, and Van Blurk comes through with a little shove back.
That's silly. Van Blurk, who plays in Holland, should have more experience than do that sort of thing. Frustration on the part of the Socceroos, who feel they're getting the wrong end of the stick.
Jason Van Blurk, he's been in their national program in Australia since he was 14 years of age. The pre-game ticket sale was in the neighborhood of 25,000. They estimated we're hoping for on a nice day, and it is just a little windy, of a walk-up of some maybe 5,000 to 7,000, and certainly there has to be 30,000, if not more, here at Commonwealth Stadium. As Vidmar is being tended to by the training staff of the Australians. It remains scoreless. Canada-Australia World Cup qualifying soccer on TSN.
Some people will go to extremes rather than have their windshields fixed. And frankly, we can't understand why. Because at Crystal Glass, we make it easy. From full replacements to simple repairs, you're in and you're out, hassle-free, guaranteed. We stand behind our service. For windshield replacement and repairs, your choice is clear. Crystal Glass, auto glass specialists for over 40 years. Look for the location nearest you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let the good times roll.
Lots of Canadian support, obviously, here at Commonwealth Stadium as we are into the final 5 minutes. But Graham, I suspect there will be time added on for that penalty incident, and I would think it's upwards of maybe 3-4 minutes of extra time from Mr. Carter. Sweeney here on this near sideline now to Mitchell and back to Sweeney as Bob Lenarduzzi looks on with some concern, despite the fact that his team is playing with a man advantage. They haven't been able to penetrate a very stubborn Australian defensive back 4, 5, and sometimes 6 as Bunbury tries to turn and can't. Did he win the ball? No, he drew the foul.
Well, he won the ball and he made contact with the ball, but he went in from behind on Van Blurk, and that's going to draw the whistle every time. Good hustle by Alex Bunbury as Van Blurk gets possession. Van Blurk gets territorial rights. Bunbury certainly made contact, and Van Blurk, again showing a little frustration, has a swing at Bunbury as he walks away.
Farina. Right on the left. And it skipped underneath. Now they'll come wide right. This is Vidmar. Slater overlapping. Vidmar can't control. And it's Colin Miller. Colin Miller, a little grab from behind, a little tug. And Vidmar will draw the foul on the Canadian captain, Colin Miller. And Miller up and doesn't say a word. Let's play.
Good hustle by Aurelio Vidmar, nevertheless. Challenge for it. Little tug drew the whistle, but oh boy, take that.
And it's a battle we've seen the entire
Tobin.
game. Tobin wearing the number 5, and he is marking Alec Bunbury.
Well, Alex Bunbury is very good at shielding the ball, and Tobin's having nothing of it. He's going right through Bunbury to get to the ball, and referee Arturo Brizio Carter is going to have a very busy day.
And it's interesting, Eddie Thompson, when asked to describe Tobin's play, he said nothing flashy, just hard-nosed. And in fact, nothing flashy about that.
I wouldn't say his nose was hard. I would say his tackles were extremely hard. But
Dale Mitchell lays it off. Yallop!
Tough to hit a ball that's pushed square like that. The angle was all wrong for Frank Yallop to get behind it and hit it correctly. I'm sure that the ball was originally meant to be hit by Dale, but once again a Socceroo breaks from the wall. It's pushed to Frank Yallop. Tough to hit that ball as it comes across you. You can see him slice it wide of the post.
Vidmar to control for Australia. Van Vlerk is wide on the left. Cooper to mark him. Limniatis is there as well. Vidmar. Farina makes the run. That's where the ball goes. Farina into space. Vidmar. Slater following up. Nicely done by the Australian. To Van Vlerk. The cross. Arnold. Oh, he tried to hook it, and right there was Dasovic. Mitchell quickly works it through. Bunbury can't get away at midfield.
Play on.
Play on. Advantage given by Mr. Carter. Slater. Watson following him step for step. Mitchell joins him now. Played to the far post. Looking for Van Vlerk, who will control. Limniatis is there to mark him. He plays it back for Zelic, who's moved up. The sweeper is now playing like a forward. Zelic gets it across, and it's headed in. And Australia has opened the scoring, and it is Zelic who makes it all happen. Zelic.
And we said that the sweeper, Ned Zelic, was the threat when he came forward. He just ghosted through the Canadian defense. What's this control? What's this deceptive acceleration? Good cross. Nick Dasovic tries to clear it and deflects it into his own net past the hapless Craig Forrest. Brilliant touch by Ned Zelic. Beautiful control. Does that ever remind you of the Kaiser, Beckenbauer, and Nick Dasovic, the unlucky own goal? 1-0 Australia.
And it comes in injury time. 45 minutes of this first half. And it comes just as the whistle is about to go. Ned Zelic with the cross headed into his own goal by Nick Dasovic, and Australia playing a man short and without their starting keeper will go to the locker room with a 1-0 lead.
Canada had most of the possession in that half, but possession doesn't count. The goalkeeper, the backup goalkeeper, never tested once Zabica was off, and Australia sneaking one in right at the halftime whistle.
1-0. Australia leading. More still to come from Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton.
Hey Roberto, which is the best pitcher you've ever faced?
The one with McCain punch.
Catch the taste of McCain frozen punch. In orange, berry, and fruit punch. McCain punch is made with real fruit juices to deliver real fruit taste, which makes McCain the punch of champions, like Roberto Alomar.
Catch the taste.
Catch the real fruit taste of McCain punch.
Some people will go to extremes rather than have their windshields fixed. And frankly, we can't understand why. Because at Crystal Glass, we make it easy. From full replacements to simple repairs, you're in and you're out, hassle-free, guaranteed. We stand behind our service. For windshield replacement and repairs, your choice is clear. Crystal Glass, auto glass specialists for over 40 years. Look for the location nearest you.
Adidas is out to change soccer in America.
The road to USA 94 continues. World Cup qualifying soccer here on TSN in front of an excellent crowd at Commonwealth Stadium. Welcome back, everyone. An own goal in injury time has given Australia the 1-0 lead over Canada as we are at halftime here in Edmonton. Last night about 10 p.m., panic seemed to sweep Edmonton as there were reports that the Canadian side wouldn't play their game. They were looking for more money from the Canadian Soccer Association to play their game. So I had a chance to talk with Captain Colin Miller about it this morning. Asked him if they were maybe holding a gun to the CSA's head.
Well, that's to hold them at ransom is a bit unfair, but possibly it could have been a bit true as well, so there's a bit of a conflict there, obviously. We knew they were going to make some money from this. We knew the gate receipts already had been pushing 25,000 people, so we knew that they were going to be making money from the game. What we were asking for was not a ridiculous sum of money, and we just felt that the compensation for the commitment that we've made so far in the whole competition, having played 12 games so far. I've been away from home from the 4th of July, missed pre-season, I'm out of contract back in Scotland, so that's just one case. So we knew the commitment that was being asked of the players had to be rewarded at some stage, and we've got an agreement now that I think both sides are happy with.
Kevin Pipe is the Director General of the Canadian Soccer Association, and right in the middle of those negotiations, is it an agreement now that everyone's happy with?
Yes, it is. In fact, we had multiple discussions with the players through their agent, Ron Perrick, which concluded, as you say, last night. But certainly we were surprised by those rumors. I got it on my car phone last night, so I was as surprised as anybody else. But we had positive discussions over the last couple of days, and it concluded yesterday evening.
The report was that the players after the previous round, the Mexico round, received in the neighborhood of about $10,000. When you consider game salary plus bonus money, it came to about $10,000, and that's what they wanted now for this series with Australia. Is that what they got?
I'd have to do some quick mental calculations, but that seems just about in the ballpark. And yes, we're in that 10,000 figure for the last round. This round would be somewhere in the vicinity of about 10,000. That's correct. And so everyone's happy with it, and we were pleased to get the deal done last night. We have a great bunch of players who are going to rebound in the second half. We're going to take this game and take this series.
We hope so, and maybe they can make another $10,000 in the game in the series against the second-place team in from South America. Kevin Pipe, we thank you for coming by. Own goal by Australia, and they lead it 1-0 at halftime from a very, very disappointed crowd here at Commonwealth.
Introducing Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant. A clear, clean gel that goes on smoothly with no white residue to form an invisible barrier of protection. Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirants and Deodorants.
Adidas is out to change soccer in America.
Through my hopes and my dreams, there's a constant, it seems. The night in the day is a friend on the way. It's something that we share. It's a bond so rare.
A Mars bar a day at work, rest, and play.
When you're at work, rest, and play.
Some people will go to extremes rather than have their windshields fixed. And frankly, we can't understand why. Because at Crystal Glass, we make it easy. From full replacements to simple repairs, you're in and you're out, hassle-free, guaranteed. We stand behind our service. For windshield replacement and repairs, your choice is clear. Crystal Glass, auto glass specialists for over 40 years. Look for the location nearest you.
Gillette introduces the best shaving gel ever. New Gillette Gel. Advanced lubricants. Easier razor glide. An incredibly smooth shave. Now, the best gel is Gillette Gel.
Australia with the 1-0 lead, halftime here at Commonwealth Stadium. The own goal, Zelic with the cross, and then it was headed in by Nick Dasovic to give Australia the 1-0 lead. But it was Canada, Graham, that had the best opportunity to begin the game.
Yes, it was. They threatened early. Miller knocks it into Alex Bunbury. He turns brilliantly, hits the volley on the turn, and it just creeps over, grazing the crossbar as Zabica stands helplessly looking on. Great chance for Alex Bunbury, but it didn't quite pay off. Then Bunbury up front and centre again plays a through ball to Dale Mitchell. Dale Mitchell gets to this ball first and walks round goalkeeper Zabica. The big Socceroo keeper brings him down right on the edge of the box. Referee Arturo Brizio Carter searches for his red card, and Zabica heads to the dressing room. Third place goalkeeper Schwarzer takes over. Then just on half-time, brilliant play by the sweeper Zelic, who smooths past Miller and Yallop. Crosses it in. Nick Dasovic tries to clear, knocks it right to his own net. 1-0 the Socceroos, and what a way to finish the first half. Are they delighted or what? What a player, Ned Zelic.
And the goal dramatic, considering what happened to the Australians to begin the first half of play, losing their starting keeper and forced to play this remainder of that first half and the remainder of the game, in fact, short one player, as the Canadians and the Australians now make their way back to a very windy Commonwealth Stadium. And let's not forget, Graham, how important that goal is for Australia, because in a series like this, home and away goals are doubly important.
They certainly are, and the one thing Canada had uppermost on their mind was to prevent the Socceroos from scoring. As you've said, in the event that everything's tied after the game in Australia, the away goals count double, and the gentleman in your picture, Eddie Thompson, the Scottish coach of this Australian side, must be absolutely delighted. We did say when the goalkeeper was sent off, it's very tough to play against a team with the spirit of the Socceroos, who have got 10 men, because they pick up some slack and make it difficult. And Carol Valentine is going to be coming on for the second half.
Yeah, they've made a couple of substitutions, Graham. Yeah, Ned Zelic, what a play, and it was dramatic, and it was quick, and it was very painful for the Canadians, and especially head coach Bob Lenarduzzi. Yeah, he could not believe it that they would give up the goal at that point in time. He finds his side now down 1-0 as we get set to begin the second half of play. The Canadians have made two substitutions. Carl Valentine has come into the game, the veteran from '86, from the 86ers of Vancouver. And also wearing number 20, Norm Odinga is also into the game for Canada. So Lenarduzzi feeling they've got to get at least the goal to tie, if not more, to balance out this very important away goal that Australia has gotten here. Norm Odinga, the 30-year-old, the former CSL All-Star.
Good move to bring Norm Odinga on very quick. He's going to line up in the right back position and have the freedom to overlap. After all, the Australians are only playing with one striker. Why keep four red shirts back to mark that one guy?
Mitchell heads it forward for Catliffe, and cleared away by Farina. Play on, says Mr. Carter, and they'll go to Mitchell. Brings it to the middle, looking for Colin Miller, who has moved up, and this is Valentine with his first touch. Odinga does a little overlap, Valentine pushes it to him, and they'll win the corner. So quickly, Canada is taking the play to Australia.
And the two players who've come off for Valentine and Odinga are Nick Dasovic and John Limniatis. So Canada putting more emphasis on attack in this half.
Mitchell will take this corner, and awkwardly, as he has to step over the high jump pit here at Commonwealth Stadium.
Les Wilson, the team manager, quickly getting the ball in.
Headed
Sense
forward.
of urgency now, Victor, about the side.
Well, there's no doubt, as we say, this goal that Australia has scored will really count almost as two. And now the bench up and arguing with Mr. Carter. And he telling them to quickly sit down.
Well, Lyndon Hooper comes in, but look at the right arm pulling him back. Gets a little help from his friends. Down goes the Socceroos Okon, and making the most of it, I need hardly add.
Ladies and gentlemen,
But they must be a very happy bunch on that bench. Eddie Thompson, absolutely delighted that his side, playing with 10 men, are leading 1-0. Good player, Paul Okon, plays for Club Brugge in Belgium. Tall, elegant player with lots of strength.
Valentine.
Now, some of these swirling balls will be difficult, I would think, for the keepers.
Well, not if they're hit as badly as that. That was played towards the penalty box. It could have been very awkward, but no challenge. And no problem for Craig Forrest.
To midfield. Arnold wins it. Now it's Odinga. Plays it forward. And once again, that little battle between Tobin and Bunbury that we saw in the first half continues here as we open second half of play at Commonwealth Stadium. Yallop. Odinga to Yallop. Now we need somebody. The Canadians have to start running into space, Graham, because they're just all standing there.
Well, they were all standing there except for Alex Bunbury, who was sitting putting his shoe on for the last 3 minutes as the linesman on the far side put his flag up for offside. All the play was going on around Alex Bunbury as he tried to get his boot back on.
Yallop to the top of the area. Valentine, Vidmar to mark him. Valentine. Van Vlerk is there for Australia, and it'll be a throw-in for the Aussies. Van Vlerk looks for Arnold, chests it down. Lovely tackle by Odinga, quickly played through, looking for Bunbury, cleared away. And off of Valentine, throw in for Australia. Would you agree one goal to give up is bad enough to give up two? Well, they can't have that, so they can't press so much as to leave themselves short of the back.
No, they certainly can't. One was bad, two would be a disaster, especially two away goals. And the way this Socceroo defense plays, I can't really see Canada scoring 2 goals. In the previous round against New Zealand, Australia won an aggregate 4-0. They failed to give up a goal in 180 minutes. And it's a very tough defense, Australia.
Interesting call as the throw-in awarded to Canada. Now it's hooked. Here's Valentine.
Oh, little push, and it's going to go for a corner kick. Good challenge by Vidmar as Valentine lined it up for a free header. The number 8 for the Socceroos came in and just gave him a little nudge. There you get an idea of it. Little push. Referee blindsided, couldn't see it.
Mitchell. Oh, yes!
Mark Watson gets the rebound. And that's the one they were waiting for. Mark Watson, the centre back, gets the final touch as the well-disciplined Socceroos fall to pieces. Dale Mitchell swings it in. It's flicked to the far post by Bunbury. Cleared off the line, and Mark Watson wraps it into the top corner. 1-1, and Canada back in the game. Great effort by Bunbury to knock it on. Good save by Schwarzer, but Mark Watson wraps it into the top corner.
And the goal by Mark Watson to even this game at a goal apiece comes in the 52nd minute. 1-1, Canada, Australia, World Cup qualifying soccer on TSN. Valentine, this is Hooper. Valentine, Hooper trying to dance away. Look at Hooper. Plays it off the backside of Colin Miller. Now Arnold trying to get through.
Handball.
Mark Watson, the 22-year-old Canadian Soccer League All-Star in 1991. We'll have a tryout with Ipswich after this home-and-home series is over. And wouldn't that be something if he makes that side? 3 Canadian national team members would be on the Ipswich side in the Premier Division. Frank Yallop, defender, Craig Forrest, the keeper, and Mark Watson. Mike Sweeney trying to bust his way through, couldn't. Okon draws the foul. Another player looking at a tryout is Lyndon Hooper, the 27-year-old, will go to Nottingham and hopefully get a contract from Forrest. Arena as Slater overlaps Slater and Mitchell. Slater skips it through, and well played by Forrest as he kept the ball in front of him.
Good play by Forrest, and another good run by Robbie Slater. You can imagine how effective he would be if he wasn't shackled by the fact that the Socceroos are down to 10 men.
Watson lays it off for Mitchell. Mitchell cuts it in, looking for Mobilio, and it'll run too far. Valentine acknowledging Mitchell, and they saying, I would have liked it back here. If you're going to play it wide, let's take it outside the box.
Mitchell playing a very intelligent game. He's just making space for himself. Wide on the left, available if the ball's ready to go to him, and using it beautifully.
Okon trying to get through. Now this is Arnold. Arnold to the edge of the area. Van Blurk moves up. Valentine to mark him. Van Blurk.
You're unlucky. That wasn't a bad play. Tried to curl it to the near post, but nobody had made the run.
Bunbury, Mitchell, Sweeney is wide left. He'll come wide right to a wide open. Still trying to control Colin Miller. Has it now. Odinga is on the wide right. He'll cut it to the left for Mike Sweeney, overlapping, but it gets hung up in this breeze here at Commonwealth. Mark Watson has equalized early here in the second half. It's Canada 1, Australia 1.
Introducing Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant. A clear, clean gel that goes on smoothly with no white residue to form an invisible barrier of protection. Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirants and Deodorants.
In Canada, parties are planned to suit the season. Witness the fall party, the winter party, the spring party, and the ever-popular summer party. The seasonal party, where you'll find the clean, crisp taste of Molson Canadian and what beer's all about.
Adidas is out to change soccer in America.
Through my hopes and my dreams, there's a constant, it seems. The night in the day is a friend on the way. It's something that we share. It's a bond so rare.
A Mars bar a day at work, rest, and play.
When you're at work, rest and play.
Introducing new Gillette Aftershave Gel. Its skin conditioners moisturize, help prevent dryness, promote smoothness for incredible comfort. New Gillette Aftershave Gel.
Welcome back to World Cup qualifying soccer on TSN. Vic Rauter along with Graham Leggett. We've played about 10 minutes of this second half, a 1-1 tie, Canada and Australia. Okon with the throw in for Australia. Vidmar and cleared by Sweeney. Bunbury and Tobin colliding at midfield. Bunbury and Tobin again the battle. Bunbury trying to turn and finally gets away. Mitchell for Miller to Bunbury. Mobilio making a run. Miller is now up front and they'll come through the middle for Hooper. Yallop to Odinga to the goal scorer, Mark Watson. Yallop at midfield. Wide for Sweeney. Miller's up, Valentine's up, trying to get the cross in, and they can't. Slater. Okon to take control, leaves it for Slater. Still in play. Lovely play by Hooper to win the ball. Sweeney trying to get it across, looking for Valentine. Gets it back, Mitchell. Sweeney! Oh, off the near post. Yes! Domenic Mobilio!
The persistent pressure of the Canadians brings Bobby Lenarduzzi off the bench in sheer delight as the Canadian red shirts refuse to be denied. 1, 2, 3 shots blocked off the line. And it all started wide on the right as the Lyndon Hooper gets the ball to Mike Sweeney. The little left back swings it across and the Socceroos are desperately trying to catch up. Valentine does ever so well to knock it back. It's hit by Mitchell off Bunbury, breaks to Miller. It comes back and Domenic Mobilio hooks it in. It's 2-1 Canada and the delight is more than obvious.
Domenic Mobilio, the former Golden Boot winner, the top scorer in the Canadian Soccer League, scores at 58 minutes to give Canada the 2-1 lead. Still early in this second half. Slater trying to bang the ball forward. Can't. And now the pressure being exerted by Canada as they look for more. And remember, they've got to somehow try and erase that goal that the Australians have scored. So 3 goals would all but do it. If they wind up tied after the game in Australia, they would look at away goals, and away goals count as 2. So in effect, what you're looking at right now is a 2-2 tie. Sweeney. Mitchell at midfield. Odinga is wide right, and he calls for it, and he gets it to Valentine. Valentine with Van Blurk on him. Valentine gets it across. He kept it in play, and it's cleared. Throw in for Canada, and the crowd has come alive here at Commonwealth Stadium.
And what a magnificent crowd it is, too. And how nice for the Canadian side.
Oh,
crowd cheering for them.
My goodness, that little chip by Miller had Schwarzer all confused, and then it just sort of floated over the bar. And that may have been one time when the wind here, Graham, has played an effect.
Obviously caught the ball. Schwarzer a little confused, but I don't think there was any danger of that ball finishing up in the net. Big goalkeeper really has nothing to do but pick the ball out the back of the net twice. Has hardly had to make a save.
Van Blurk at midfield. Okon trots it through for Farina. Well read and cleared by Yallop. Mobilio, Sweeney. They head for Bunbury and Tobin. And watch these two battle. Bunbury looking for some help. Mitchell, it slides under his foot as Mitchell made the run through the middle. Now the long ball downfield. Okon giving chase. So's Mark Watson. Oh, and Mark Watson with the sliding tackle to take it away. Yallop goes wide left for Sweeney. Mitchell is open to the left on the wing, and that's where they'll go. Mobilio, Miller, Bunbury. Valentine makes a run. Wide right. They come square to Odinga. Now, wide right to Valentine. Valentine. Vidmar is there. And Vidmar, it'll roll over the goal line. Goal kick.
Good player, number 8, Vidmar. Not at all afraid to go forward and support the lone striker, Graham Arnold, but he really does a lot of work in midfield. Wins the ball, challenges. Good player to have on your side as we see the Commonwealth Stadium crowd get a little wave going, and why not? The second half show of Canada justifies a wave.
The Alberta Soccer Association has done a wonderful job. For the first time ever, a World Cup qualifying game is being held in Alberta, or for that matter anywhere on the prairies. Magnificent job by the Alberta soccer people. At midfield, ahead for Farina, forced to play it back for Vidmar. Now they'll come to the left side, headed through to the middle by Van Blurk and cleared away by Mark Watson. Upfield for Bunbury, but Tobin will win this battle. Valentine, and it's Valentine who's given the foul for the little knock on number 8, Aurelio Vidmar, who plays in Belgium. Van Blurk. Forrest judging the wind very well. Downfield now, Bunbury and Tobin, and it'll run too far. Alec Bunbury, two-time CSL All-Star, now plays in West Ham. Van Blurk has Odinga and Vidmar bump. The captain, Colin Miller, the 28-year-old, this is 34th international cap for Canada. Makes his off-season home in Vancouver.
That was a good tackle by Colin Miller. But once again, if you come in from behind, the whistle's going to go. And now we see the Socceroos having to change their approach to the game a little. They're going to have to push forward if they hope to get the tie they came for.
Zelic downfield. Watson clears. Odinga clears. Miller clears. Mobilio. Valentine, can he keep it in play? Yep. And he does. And he'll give away the throw-in. Nice job there, Graham. 3 touches, all head, and quickly the ball was out of the Canadian end. Farina again. Foul is on Valentine. Van Vliet. For Sweeney. Odinga gets in there in the collision with Arnold, and Odinga goes down.
Brave effort by Norm Odinga. He could almost feel that he was going to get kicked there because Arnold did not see him coming from behind. Not a deliberate foul. This was caused by the fact that Arnold could not see Norm Odinga bravely stick his head in. Got a little knock on the chin, and Canada gets a free kick and a chance to take a breather as Norm Odinga gets some treatment.
And you know, Graham, there's another, we talked earlier about Mike Sweeney getting the call when he wasn't expected to play. Norm Odinga's another one. He wasn't expected to be with this side. When he got the call from Bob Lenarduzzi, he said, look, we're going through some injury problems. We need you. And he's here.
Well, I thought perhaps that Norm Odinga could have started today simply because he has real pace.
Hooper wins the ball, goes to the left for Mitchell. Sweeney overlapping, and in fact they get so close they give it away. Okon misfires on his clearance. Bunbury plays it back, and this is Norm Odinga. Wide right is Valentine. Hooper is in the middle. They go forward for Mobilio. Now can he get it across? No, it ran too quickly. A reminder to stay with us right after the game for the TSN Turning Point. Brought to you by Armor All.
When it's this hot, don't take chances. Only Armor All Protectant guarantees your new car's dash from cracking. There is a fountain of youth, and we guarantee it. Armor All.
It's a wonderful day here in Edmonton. Wonderful crowd. The weather is fine. It's a little breezy. Canada-Australia World Cup qualifying soccer on TSN, and the Canadians with 2 second-half goals by Mark Watson, Domenic, Mobilio lead Australia 2-1. Bunbury turns. This is Mitchell, chips it through. Oh, he was looking for Colin Miller. This is Valentine. Odinga has overlapped now. Valentine now. It's Odinga. They drew 2 Aussies. They'll lay it square. This is Hooper. Frank Yallop. Wide left. Sweeney. Can he control? Sweeney trying to keep it in play. Sweeney now trying to get it across. He does. Tobin for Australia will clear. Okon, edge of the box. And a handball as it skipped up on Lyndon Hooper. And the Australians now getting ready to make their second substitution. Their first, of course, came with the goalkeeper. Schwarzer taking over for Zabica, as number 18, Jason Pollock, is on the sideline, and he'll replace Aurelio Vidmar.
Oh, what a game Aurelio Vidmar is having. I certainly wouldn't take him off. He's been dynamite in midfield. He's been the lone ball winner for the Aussies in midfield. Terrific game.
Jason Pollock plays with Newcastle. He's also spent some time in Holland. Former Australian Youth International. Jason Pollock into the game. Norm Odinga to midfield for Canada. Just over 20 minutes remaining.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. A substitution for Australia. Into the game, number 18.
Valentine will leave it.
Coming out, number 8, Aurelio Vidmar.
Frank Yallop, as you take a look at the 26-year-old Aurelio Vidmar, who picks up his 10th international cap for Australia. And the battle continues, Graham, between this man, Alex Tobin, and Alex Bunbury of Canada.
And I would say it's dead even right now. Both players giving no quarter, asking no quarter, and I tell you what, they're having a great tussle.
Schwarzer boomed that into this swirling wind. Sweeney, Mitchell, Arnold is there. Sweeney, Mitchell for Hooper. Tries to split the Aussies and can't. Slater with a nice run to get away from 2 Canadians. And now this ball too far for Farina, who had made the run up front for Australia. Pollock, the substitute, has come in and is playing wide on the left for Australia. Sweeney chips it through. He has Miller. And step for step, Van Blurk was there. Canada with a 2-1 lead.
Good covering by Jason Van Blurk, who plays for Go Ahead Eagles in Holland. Nice run by Colin Miller, but the big number 10 for the Socceroos was with him every stop of the way. Mike Sweeney, 60th cap today for Canada, the only player ever to reach that plateau.
The international for Canada since 1980, the veteran of the '86 World Cup, now lives and coaches in Cleveland. Odinga plays it back, and Watson hooks it back for Greg Forrest. Waits and has a look to midfield for Slater. Bunbury wins it there, and this is Dale Mitchell. As the wind appears to be picking up again and making it very difficult. Look at Mike Sweeney, brought down by Slater, no foul. And a throw in for Canada as it just went over the sideline, quickly taken. Mitchell. Mitchell shielding it well, trying to hook it back.
Free kick against the Socceroos. Going in with his studs showing. Good call by Fabrizio Carter. Dale Mitchell and Alex Bunbury dynamite from these set pieces.
Durakovic with the foul.
With that wind blowing, Dale Mitchell could even curl this one in at the far post.
17 minutes, 30 seconds on the stadium clock. As Mitchell, and there you see how difficult it is. The ball just won't sit as the wind has picked up again here in Edmonton. Mitchell cuts it. Bunbury is up and over the head of everybody.
Wind whipped that ball. It started off at 10 miles an hour and finished up by going past Bunbury at 100 miles an hour. Blustery wind making it very difficult to judge the arrival of the ball.
Cleared to midfield by Australia, and it runs too far for Odinga. Van Blurk. Look towards Pollock, but instead goes to Farina. Oh, and look at this. It goes off the corner flag and stays in play. That's a break. Now Bunbury. Oh, he can't get by Zelic. And Zelic clears, and it's quickly taken. The throw in now by Canada. Valentine is up. Canada leading 2-1, but that away goal they've given up really makes it a 2-2 tie. They'd like to get one more, heading to Sydney. Sweeney does well to control, pushes it forward for Mitchell. Valentine is wide right. Oh, it just off the heel of Van Blurk. Now he needs some help, Valentine, and he'll win. Oh my, it went off of Valentine when it looked like it was going for a Canadian corner.
Definitely good play by Zelic, and that ball definitely went off Carl Valentine for a goal kick. Linesman right on the spot, and the anxiety on Eddie Thompson's face little more evident now as he's saying to his midfield players, you've got to get up front and support Graham Arnold. He can't do it all on his own.
At midfield, Van Blerk wins it for Australia. Watson clears as they just volley it now back and forth over the midfield stripe. Here comes Canada. Sweeney at midfield, looking for Mobilio, one of the goal scorers for Mitchell. Mitchell plays it square. This is Odinga as Slater moves over. Pollock to mark him. Chips it into the box. Looking. Oh, and over the head of Schwarzer and Alec Bunbury.
Not a bad cross by Norm Odinga, who originally was a right winger, so he's quite comfortable knocking him in from this touchline.
"15 minutes remaining. 2-1 Canada. World Cup qualifying soccer on TSN.
And the goalkeeper, Schwarzer, having a problem making the ball stay still so they can take the goal kick, and finishes up wrapping it into touch just inside the Canadian half.
Graham, you would think the Australians, being down a man, having to run, really only being able to make one substitution, would start now. The fitness comes into play, and just how much they have left in this last quarter of an hour.
Well, the Australians have got no substitutions left because they used one for the goalkeeper, and they've already made the second one. And Canada certainly are as fit as Australia. I just wonder why the Australians are continuing with their multiple defense instead of pushing people forward. Free kick given there against Norm Odinga with a little bit of a rugby tackle on Van Blerk. Van Blerk really has established the territorial rights there, and Norm Odinga brings them down with a beautiful rugby tackle.
Van Blerk looking for the captain, Arnold. Okon, Pollock, and this is Slater, wide right. Arnold, Farina are in the box. Slater, Mitchell marking him. He'll play it for Farina. Heads it down. Okon. 2-1, Canada leading. World Cup qualifying soccer. And only here on TSN.
Some people will go to extremes rather than have their windshields fixed. And frankly, we can't understand why. Because at Crystal Glass, we make it easy. From full replacements to simple repairs, you're in and you're out, hassle-free, guaranteed. We stand behind our service. For windshield replacement and repairs, your choice is clear. Crystal Glass, auto glass specialists for over 40 years. Look for the location nearest you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let the good times roll.
Welcome back. Mick Rowder along with Graham Leggett. Canada, Australia. Round one of this home-and-home series as Valentine tried to slide it through for Alec Bunbury. Hooper, Frank Yallop, Watson, and he plays it back. Under pressure to midfield, Slater. And the Australians doing very well, Graham, at controlling the ball here in midfield. And it will be a throw-in for Canada. Valentine, though, thinking about hurrying it up just a little bit, waits for some support, and he comes back for Odinga. Odinga listens to his coach, Lenarduzzi, and does play it wide left. This is Sweeney. Sweeney pushes it forward for Mobilio.
Oh, and it wasn't a bad ball. It was on Mobilio's favorite left foot. Just a little too much pace on it. And look out, Slater sneaking in behind. Ooh. Sweeney back again. Boy, what a game Mike Sweeney's had. He's made himself available for every ball.
As we say, called upon. He wasn't expected to play. He runs soccer schools. This is the busiest time of the year for him, and he had been given permission to take the series off. But when the injuries started happening, he decided to play. Colin Miller, and it rattles off Van Blurk, and it goes up about 10 rows. And the call to Sweeney actually came from Colin Miller. Said, "We need you."
And he was right. Colin Miller can throw this right into Bunbury, standing just in front of the near post.
That's who they're looking for. It's there. Here's Mobilio.
Offside. Guys, offside.
And it is offside. Near side linesman, Mr. Madrogal, had his flag up.
No question about it. Even Domenic doesn't argue about that one. The flag went up right away, kept it up. He's done very well on this near side. Long throw in by Colin Miller causes all sorts of problems as Bunbury and Mobilio challenge. Now watch Mobilio on the left-hand side of your picture. Definitely an offside position. Finds the net, but it's still only 2-1 Canada.
Boy, I tell you, Slater's arms went up. Tobin, arms going up. Pollock to the far side for Slater. Mitchell is there, and now Mobilio comes over, and it's 2-on-1. Throw in for Australia. But you agree, though, that Canada really would like another one now because of that one goal by Australia.
Definitely. Australians are very good at home, and look out, here's Sweeney again.
Sweeney trying to get it through and couldn't as he puts it off of Durakovic and into touch. Throw in for Canada.
And leave it for Colin Miller. Once again, this is just like a corner kick as he throws it right into the penalty box.
Bunbury is up, Mobilio's up, Valentine's there, Mitchell's there. Here's the throw in. And Zelic will clear for Australia. Oh my. Foot up, play on. Foot up, play on. Now, here's Mobilio trying to turn. Oh, and he skipped it by Mitchell. Valentine, edge of the area, looking, has Super. Odinga making the overlap run, and he goes inside for Valentine. Valentine trying to push it back and does. Valentine,
gets
and he'll get the throw in.
Colin Miller trots across to the other wing. Mark Watson and Frank Yallop come up to the far post and put Sweeney and Lyndon Hooper back to cover.
Colin Miller flicked, hooked back. Nobody's there, and Slater will clear as he comes off the far post. Sweeney quickly.
What a great ball.
Mobilio gets it across. Here's Miller. Oh my, Miller thought he had number 3.
Beautiful ball by Mike Sweeney. First time, beautiful weight on it. It's knocked across by Domenic Mobilio, and Colin Miller just can't quite get to it to make the half volley.
Mark Watson clears.
Handball.
Oh, handball as it skipped again off this Commonwealth turf and up into the arms of the Australian captain Graham Arnold.
And Graham Arnold, who has been the lone striker for most of the game, has now drifted back into midfield, and Frank Farina, the number 7, is doing the challenging up front. But Australia, trailing 2-1, are still playing with one lone striker.
Under 10 minutes now, near side. It's Miller giving chase to keep it in play and does well to get there. Pollock to mark him. Miller gets it across. Bunbury, punched away by Schwarzer.
Good goalkeeping by Schwarzer.
Odinga. Valentine. Mitchell ahead for Bunbury, and who's there, of course? Alex Tobin. Mitchell. Valentine. Pollock will take the loose ball now and bring it back for Australia. Looking for Farina. You don't want to get caught here. Watson trying to get back and does. And will it run? It does.
Corner kick, and this is the chance the Australians have been waiting for as the big number 5, Tobin, lumbers up from the back. I'm surprised that they're not bringing Ned Zelic up, but Zelic and Durakovic stay back, along with Slater, and everybody else comes up for what could be the last chance to tie this game.
5 minutes remaining. Injury time.
5
in the
long
hands,
minutes.
Yeah, in the hands of Carter, the official from Mexico. Pollock gets it across. Headed right back. Throw in by Pollock this time. Van Blurk, edge of the area. Miller watching him, and he'll take it. Colin Miller, the Canadian captain, downfield quickly. Looking for Bunbury, and the clutching and the grabbing.
No, that's not an advantage rule. There's no way he could allow that to go on. A deliberate foul, he has to blow it down.
Durakovic.
Alex Bunbury has been outstanding. He's challenged and fought. Bit of a mismatch against Durakovic. Alex Bunbury's breaking away. He's pulled down. Valentine makes the break. The referee plays the advantage. If that was an advantage, I'm in the wrong game.
Dale Mitchell ahead for Odinga. Mitchell following up. And both players are down, and the foul is against Mitchell as Van Blurk has gone down as well for Australia.
Well, the Australians wanted to take that ball quickly, but I think referee Arturo Bricciocaro was a little worried about the way Van Blurk went down. Another blind collision between Mitchell and Van Blurk as the ball bounces awkwardly in the wind. They both go for it, they both take a knock, and there you can see the bad tumble that Jason Van Blurk took as he hit the ground. I'll tell you one thing you can say about this Canadian side. They may lack a little finesse at times, but as far as effort and courage, boy, 10 out of 10 all the way around. Right now, with all the pre-publicity about the way the Australians push the ball around and play controlled soccer, that's exactly what we've seen from Canada in this second half. A brilliant performance so far with 4 minutes to go.
Odinga wins the ball, and the foul is on Mark Watson as he came up and over the top of Arnold for Australia.
And this is the dangerous time now when the concentration tends to flag a little. Canada, with victory in sight, have got to be careful not to make a mistake in the danger area.
27,775, the largest crowd in Canada.
A through ball for Forrest, no problem.
And I should think that Eddie Thompson will spend some time on his free kicks before the return match in Australia. They've been pathetic.
Odinga does well to get there and keep it in play. Here's Mitchell trying to cut it through for Mobilio and Bunbury, and couldn't get it there. Zelic meets Sweeney. Zelic, Sweeney will win it. Offside. Bunbury caught.
Alec Tobin just beautifully stepped up as the ball was chipped through by Mitchell. Bunbury 5 yards offside.
Congratulations to the Alberta Soccer Association, Graham, for a job well done in promoting this World Cup qualifier with Australia, the crowd at 27,700. Colin Miller at midfield as Canada looks for one more. Bunbury, lovely job to finally get away from Tobin, but then Zelic was there to meet him. Cooper chips it forward, another clutch and grab. And this time the foul is called.
Now that's when he should have played the advantage, but full marks to the linesman on this near side, Francisco Sanchez Madrigal. He has made his decisions quickly. He's kept his flag up. That was the right decision. Let's see if the Dale Mitchell-Alex Bunbury combination can click here.
Oh boy, and the wind is just absolutely howling now as the ball won't set. Mobilio is up. Odinga is up. Mitchell, far post. And over the bar.
Mobilio got stuck a little bit underneath it and could not get the proper direction on the header. But Robbie looks a little relaxed. Alan Errington, his assistant, by his side. Les Wilson's champing at the pit a little bit as he gets off the bench to ease the tension as the clock keeps winding down. There it goes. 2-1 for Canada as referee Arturo Briccio Carter blows the final whistle. What a comeback. What a performance in the second half by every one of these Canadian players. And Bobby Lenarduzzi must be very proud.
He must be, considering they were down on that own goal at halftime. However, that own goal, as the Canadian team now acknowledges this crowd of 27,700 here. That own goal, they didn't want to give one up. And for all intents and purposes, they will now go back to Sydney in 2 weeks. And it's a 2-2 tie. Canada will look to score one and more in Sydney. But here it goes into the books as a 2-1 win. World Cup qualifying soccer on TSN.
Introducing Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant. A clear, clean gel that goes on smoothly with no white residue to form an invisible barrier of protection. Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirants and Deodorants.
Ever since we introduced our new beer called Molson Canadian Ice, people have been asking just what makes it taste better than the other ice beers. Well, it probably boils down to one thing. We don't heat pasteurize ours. Molson Canadian Ice. If it's an ice beer, it shouldn't be anything other than ice cold.
Some people will go to extremes rather than have their windshields fixed. And frankly, we can't understand why. Because at Crystal Glass, we make it easy. From full replacements to simple repairs, you're in and you're out, hassle-free, guaranteed. We stand behind our service for windshield replacement and repairs. Your choice is clear. Crystal Glass, auto glass specialists for over 40 years. Look for the location nearest you.
Through my hopes and my dreams, there's a constant, it seems. The night in the day is a friend on the way. It's something that we share. It's a bond so rare.
A Mars bar a day at work, rest, and play.
When you're at work, rest and play.
Gillette introduces the best shaving gel ever. New Gillette Gel. Advanced lubricants. Easier razor glide. An incredibly smooth shave. Now the best gel is Gillette Gel.
Time for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you by Armor All.
The Armor All Turning Point game, 13 minutes into the second half. The score tied at 1-1. Sweeney breaks in the left, knocks it across. Valentine does well to head it square. Bunbury knocks it against Mitchell. It breaks to Miller. He tries his luck. It comes back off a defender straight to Domenic Mobilio. Pick that out. That puts Canada up 2-1. They go on to win by that score. Mobilio's goal proves to be the Armor All turning point.
A cash donation will be made to the Coaching Association of Canada on behalf of TSN and Armor All for the training of Canadian coaches in amateur sports. Armor All beautifies and protects your tires. Just spray and walk away. Easy to use and gives your car a mirror-like finish. Canada wins 2-1, but it's just the first step. Now they have to go to Sydney.
Introducing Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant. A clear, clean gel that goes on smoothly with no white residue to form an invisible barrier of protection. Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirants and Deodorants.
Some people will go to extremes rather than have their windshields fixed. And frankly, we can't understand why. Because at Crystal Glass, we make it easy. From full replacements to simple repairs, you're in and you're out, hassle-free, guaranteed. We stand behind our service. For windshield replacement and repairs, your choice is clear. Crystal Glass, auto glass specialists for over 40 years. Look for the location nearest you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let the good times roll.
Introducing new Gillette Aftershave Gel. Its skin conditioners moisturize, help prevent dryness, promote smoothness for incredible comfort. New Gillette Aftershave Gel.
TSN's World Cup 94 coverage is brought to you in part by Molson Canadian Ice, General Motors and Chevrolet, Gillette, Adidas, and by Snickers. Canada on second half goals by Mark Watson and Domenic Mobilio win 2-1 over Australia in game one of a home-and-home series with Australia. Now they move to Sydney. And Graham and I, the entire World Cup crew, will have it for you Saturday, August the 14th at midnight Eastern Time, as it will be Sunday afternoon in Australia, but Saturday midnight Eastern Time in Canada. Stay with us now for TSN Sports Desk. Chris Sedens will bring you up to date on semifinals at the Players Limited International and Hall of Fame inductions for the National Football League. It's been a great afternoon here in Edmonton. 27,700 on hand, and they'll go home happy. World Cup qualifying soccer on TSN is brought to you by Crystal Glass. For all your Canadian auto glass needs, Canadian auto glass specialists since 1949. Now, on behalf of Graham Leggett and our entire crew, I'm Vic Rowder. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye.